Good morning, students. It's Miss Baxter here. I am talking to you today on main idea. And just as I taught you last week to use the strategy that I named Backstrat, right? That's for Baxter strategies. Just because I kind of came up with it on my own. The kids here in class, they were giggling because when I came up with the name. But anyway, so I set up my paper for the who, what, when, where, how, and why. Okay. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. These are things that I can pull out of each paragraph, okay? And I can actually understand more clearly what the paragraph is saying. So what I want you to do is open up your little the Zinger book. It's the little thin one, and go to page 40. And we're going to do this one together. So the first thing I want to do, and if I forget, it even tells you, read the questions first, okay? Use a dictionary and annotate the selection based on the questions. So I'm going to look at my questions. The first one says, the main reason many residents did not evacuate Galveston was that. So what I'm looking for here is the main reason that residents did not leave Galveston. And I might even reword it in my own words. So main reason people did not leave Galveston. Okay. And by writing it down, if you reword it into your words and writing it down, your brain is more likely to actually remember it. So then when you're reading and you read something about why people did not leave Galveston, all right, when they should have, because it says evacuate, that means like leaving in a hurry. Then when I'm reading that, then I'll remember, oh gosh, there was a question about that. I remember. Let me go back to my questions real quick. Okay, so it's also a time saver. All right, the author includes a quotation in paragraph 3. Ooh, paragraph 3, that's good to know. I definitely need to pay attention to that one. So if I'm reading a long passage with like 20 paragraphs, I may not want to annotate or do the backstrat for all of them because there's some paragraphs you don't need to. When it comes to the questions, look and see what the questions are asking. Okay, if it's telling me to look in paragraph 3, especially for a quotation, right, I definitely want to pay attention to that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to star 2, 3, because I know I need to annotate that one. All right. Paragraph 1 is mostly about, oh, here we go, mostly about. So I'm going to star my paragraph 1. And then last 4, how does the author support the claim that Katrina is not even close to the Galveston disaster? So how does the author support? A claim just means main idea. Okay, that's the main idea. That Katrina is not even close to the Galveston disaster. So he's saying, the author says Galveston was worse. Okay? There, I just took that same sentence and reworded it. Now I'm looking for something to support that. All right, let's read, shall we? When people today think of deadly hurricanes, we often think of the massive destruction and human toll caused by Hurricane Katrina. The 2005 storm caused catastrophic damage from Florida to Texas. Countless people were displaced from their homes, and parts of the country are still recovering from the damage. Images of New Orleans residents huddled in the Superdome and wide swaths of the Mississippi coastline swallowed by the storm surge are still fresh in the minds of many Americans. Many still feel that failures by the U.S. government before and after the storm added to the human cost of the tragedy. All right. Now I starred that, so that means I need to annotate it. So looking here at my who, what, when, where, how, and why, my who is going to actually be Hurricane Katrina, because that's what that whole paragraph is talking about. And what about Hurricane Katrina? It was massive hurricane. Oops, 2 R's, ICANE. When? 2005. Where? It said from Florida to Texas. And then how was the massive hurricane in 2005 from Florida to Texas? How How is it so massive? Well, it says it caused catastrophic damage. And last, why? Why is the hurricane that was from Katrina so massive in 2005 and going from Florida to Texas? Why was it causing so much damage? Well, in here, the last sentence says many still feel that failures by the U.S. government before and after the storm added to the human cost of the tragedy. So, if we all know that we can't stop a hurricane from happening, we all know that, right? But is there things that cities and government can do to prevent maximum damage? Of course there is. Okay. So if people can't blame the hurricane solely for the destruction, but they look for another person to blame, and so then people still feel that the U.S. government before. So the why would be the U.S. government failed. Again, that's an opinion, not a fact. U.S. failed. All right. Let's keep reading, shall we? However, Katrina was not the worst storm in history, and it was not even close. Nor was it the only time the U.S. government may have shared some fault. The deadliest natural disaster in the history of the United States remains in the hurricane that struck the island in Galveston, Texas, in September 8, 1900. Guys, always, 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 always underline any important dates and numbers and anything like that. Okay. So I don't have a star by it, so I'm not going to necessarily do my whole backstrat on it, but I do want to at least pull out some important facts here. So this paragraph is saying deadliest hurricane ever. Hurricane ever. 1900. I know you can't really see what I'm writing probably. I'll try to take a picture of these and upload them, my notes. Deadliest hurricane ever, which is still kind of hard to see. 1900 in Galveston. I'll put Galveston. Okay, and anything out of here that you think is important, write it down. I mean, because it also says the U.S. government may not have shared some, nor was it the only time the U.S. government shared some fault. So that tells me they're about to start telling me how the government was at fault in the 1900 hurricane. Suspenseful. All right, number 3. The unnamed Category 4 storm leveled what was, at the time, the largest city in the state and a wealthy center of commerce, killing more than 8,000 people. Oh, that's probably important to know. Storm tides ranging from 8 to 16 feet. Remember, anything numbers or dates. Storm tides ranging from 8 to 16 feet swallowed homes, which were washed out to sea. A local weather forecaster was quoted in the aftermath saying, oh, hey, there's a quotation. Remember we said we need quotations? Paragraph 3 quotations. So I'm going to underline it too. Where 20,000 people lived on the 8th, not a house remained on the 9th. And who occupied the houses may, in many instances, never be known. Wow. He's you know what he's doing there? He's giving you a visual. He's giving you a visual of what happened. So imagine flying over and looking down on a community, and there you see 20,000 houses standing up. Beautiful community. You see trees, you see pools in the backyard, all kinds of stuff, right? And now on the 9th when you fly over, right? On September 9th when you fly over, all that stuff is gone. Just wiped out. Like there's just debris everywhere. Every house is on the ground. That's what he's trying to give you a visual of. That's impressive. All right. So I'm going to do, because it's a star, I'm going to annotate. All right. Who, what, when, where, how, why. The who is a hurricane. What was so great about it? It's the deadliest. Well, hold on. The largest, yeah. Largest and deadliest. I'm just going to put largest and deadliest Now I'll probably put over here 8,000 people plus, 8,000 plus people, because that means when I see that number, 8,000 people plus died. When? That was September 8th. Where? Galveston. And how? This is important. How was that hurricane the largest and deadliest in 8,000? Hurricanes are nothing just about wind and rain. So, but how did that one become so deadly? All right, remember we circled some numbers in here? It's because the storm tides ranged from 8 to 16 feet. And then why? Well, we don't really have a why. And that's okay. We don't have to. Remember, we don't always fill these out. All right, let's keep reading. Paragraph 4. As with Katrina, many feel that some of the tragedy might have been prevented, but there were significant differences. For one thing, the government had a very different attitude about hurricanes. The U.S. Weather Service, which was then only 10 years old, didn't use words like hurricane or tornado because tools like satellites and Doppler radar did not exist yet. Forecasting relied on communication between storm trackers in various locations. Scientists in Cuba had indications that the powerful storm was headed to the Gulf of Mexico, but the U.S. tended to ignore warnings from Cuba for political reasons. These conditions, along with the severity of the storm, combined to make Galveston America's deadliest disaster to date. Ooh, not a star. I mean, this would be a great one to do the backtrack, but I'm going to see if I can pull out some good details without it. All right, this paragraph is comparing 1900 weathermen, right, to 2005 weathermen. And in 1900, we didn't have the communications, so radars, no weather tracking equipment, right? And in fact, how were we warned about an incoming hurricane? Cuba, right? Cuba warned us, but did we listen? No, did not listen. All right, did not listen. All because Cuba and America used to hate each other. Isn't that great? So they're like, dude, there's a hurricane coming. And you could totally make a funny thing of us. Dude, there's a hurricane coming right now. No, I don't care. I don't trust you. I don't believe you. I don't like you. You're like, no, dude, seriously. I know you don't like me. And I know we got some bad blood. But right now, dude, there's a bad hurricane coming. You're like, yeah, whatever, man. Quit playing. And they're like, no, I'm serious, dude. Serious. Like, there's a hurricane coming. You should totally warn your people. I'm like, we're not listening to you. Look, you're just trying to make us weak. You're trying to put us in a vulnerable state so you can come attack us. I don't think so. Well, should have listened. All right, so there's my little comedy hour for you. All right, number 5. The Galveston hurricane made people realize you can't play politics with a weather bureau. Carrie Emanuel, a professor at atmospheric science at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, told History.com in 2017, if you make it political, people will die. Dude, that's happening right now in sinking COVID. All right, that's just some guy saying, we'll just summarize. Don't let politics interfere with lives. All right, let's do the questions real fast. Number 1, the main reason the residents did not evacuate Galveston was it? Did people not leave Galveston because they did not believe hurricanes were dangerous at the time? Did I read you that? Nope. Did people not leave Galveston because the government had not yet classified hurricanes as a natural disaster? Look, I don't need for government to declare anything a natural disaster, because if it's coming to get me, it's coming to get me. All right. Did residents not evacuate Galveston because it was hard to get on and off the island? Dude, I would have swam if I had to. Or did residents not leave Galveston because warnings about the storm were never communicated by officials? My stupid politicians are like, I don't like Cuba. They're just trying to make us weak. All right, number 2. The author includes a quotation in paragraph 3 to help the reader understand Oh, and we found this in paragraph 4. I don't know if that's how you do that. Anyway, paragraph 4. The author includes a quotation from paragraph 3 to help reader understand the human cost of the storm. Maybe. Scientific data about the storm and its effects. Whoa, wait, what? That quote was where 20,000 people lived on the 8th, the house remained on the 9th. Okay, so he's just showing me, that's right, that's the image in my head of like all the houses being wiped out. So that does not show me any scientific data about the storm. The weather forecasters lacked advanced technology. Well, yeah, but that's not what he's saying in that. How the storm compares to other natural disasters. Huh? No, dude, he's talking about that storm only. So it has to be the human cost of the storm. And that just means the lives that were lost. All right, paragraph 1 is mostly about, paragraph 1. Let me relook at my facts. Hurricane Katrina, it's massive hurricane. It was in 2005. It went from Florida to Texas. It was caused by catastrophic damage, and the U.S., or it caused catastrophic damage, and it failed. The U.S. government failed. Okay. Is paragraph 1 telling me why hurricanes cause such tremendous damage? No, it didn't tell me that. Did paragraph 1 tell me what ways the U.S. government could have prevented Hurricane Katrina? No, didn't tell me how they could prevent it. Did paragraph 1 tell me the slow process of recovery? No. Did it tell me the general information concerning her? Yes, it gave me all just basic facts. Yay. Man, I'm feeling so good, so successful. Here, I'm going to really trick my teacher. I'm going to show I'm really using my strategies, right? I'm going to put here paragraph 3 because that's where I found the answer. Here, I'm going to put paragraph 1. That's where I found the answer. I'm so smart. All right. How does the author support the main idea that Katrina is not even close to the Galveston disaster? In other words, the author is saying that Galveston was worse. So how does he support that? Does the author say Galveston was worse by directly comparing numbers and statistics about hurricane? No, because I didn't see nothing about no rainfall amounts and things like that. Does the author say Galveston was worse than Katrina by quoting multiple eyewitnesses who lived through both storms? Okay, well, first of all, that would be so funny. I wish they would have. But in order for that to happen, the person would have to be at least 105 years old. That's just to be born on or alive those dates, not actually old enough to remember it. H. Does the author say the main idea? I mean, does the author say that Galveston was worse by describing the ways the U.S. government failed in each case? No, he does tell me that how they failed in the 1900, the Galveston one, but he doesn't tell me how they failed in Katrina. So, because it says each case. Ooh, that was tricky. J, by implying that Galveston's fate was worse because it was not warned. By implying, does the author support the main idea when he says Galveston was worse by implying that Galveston's fate was worse because it was not warned? Yes, because he really draws attention to that. He really wants you to know that, dude, so many people could have been alive or survived it had the government just not been so petty. So anyway, all right, so this is yours, notes and everything, and like I said, I'll take a picture and try to upload it. And then this one I want you to work on. This is The Forgotten Father of Natural Selection. This is page 42 in that same book, okay? And then you already have your other assignments for today and tomorrow. Everything is due Friday because the grading period ends Friday, and the 6 weeks is Friday. So, all right. When you do The Forgotten Father of Natural Selection, I will make a Google form today and put it online. Put your answers in there. There's only 4 questions, okay? And I will also do one for the other story, the ghost, the other story that you have to do. Okay, I'll make a Google form, no, Google, whatever the purple one is, right? The Google Forms where you put in your answers and you get your grade right away. I'll do that. Okay, all right, bye.